Good morning, everyone. There's a little flap here without looking at my ugly kisser, so I figure I'll give you some beautiful scenery that you can look at. This is just a flap about technology, I guess, and it's leaving us old guys behind. One of the things that I noticed, one of the forums that I am on, has made some big changes which I find very, very difficult to use because the things that were there on the old format are no longer there on the new one. But I'm sure they're there, but it's just that it's a big learning curve. And for an old fossil like myself, by the time I get to learn how to use it, I'll probably be dead. Heck, I'm 80 years old, for crying out loud, in case a lot of you don't realize that. And it's a miracle that I'm still here today. I watched Doug's video. Doug, you sure had a lot more advanced with computers than I'll ever be. And I hardly understand any of what you're talking about, but that's nothing new. But I do watch you. I watch a lot of videos. Technical videos, documentaries. I don't always watch westerns, you know. I watch a lot of old movies of the 40s and 50s and 60s. And all kinds of things. I kind of like to stay with the old world. Years ago, my cousin, who passed on a few years ago, sadly, she was a year younger than me, says, "Bill, you live in the past." Well, I'll tell you what, I'd rather live in the past. Things were a lot simpler then. So I can't deal with changes. I never could, regardless of whether it's technology or where you're living or the world around you and stuff like that. And, you know, I find it hard for me to adjust. I'm in my own world, so to speak. Heck, I very rarely use Windows 10. I have one, you know, the shuttle, which I got from Jim Asbell. That works very well, and it's good for video editing and stuff like that. But I find myself on good old Windows 7 desktop. You know, I don't need to make changes. I find the filing system a lot simpler on Windows 7 than the filing system and where you save your photos and music and videos in Windows 10. So that's just an example. So, you know, it's very difficult, and I stay with what I understand. And a lot of you, I'm sure, out there are in my boat, so to speak. Because, well, a lot of you probably don't like changes. I never did. I never will. Even when I was younger, I didn't like changes. You know, you get used to something. With me, it takes a long time for me to grasp something. By the time I grasp and understand what it is, it's like an operating system. You get used to using Windows XP, and then they go to Windows 7, which was a big, big, long learning curve for me. It took me months and months to learn how to use it. And then I got to use it and to understand it. And when Windows 10 came out, it was different. It was enough difference that it took me a long time. And to this day, I stumble on it, especially in the filing system, because I went over this with some friends of mine, that if you put your videos and your pictures and your music in My Documents, I was told that's not the place it should be. And when you put them in there, which is what I do in Windows 7 and did in Windows XP and did in Windows 98 and so on, well, in Windows 10 it makes duplicate files and there's nothing in there. When you go to click on it, it's not there. So you got to stumble around and find them. Now I was told to put it in users, and in my case it would be Bill. So in users Bill. Well, I stumble all over trying to find it. So I stay with Windows 7. It's so much simpler. So when I watch your videos, Doug, Linux, oh, I tried it years ago. Linux Mint and all that. There's no drivers for them. You got no sound. You got nothing, I'm not going to even go down that road because I've been down it. But with me, I don't stay with anything long. If it's too complicated, I don't want to know it. I was that way in school. That's why I was so bad in math, because I'm a slow learner, and I'll admit it, and it takes me a long time to understand something. Once I do, then it's okay. But the average person, you can rattle it off to them, and boom, boom, they're advanced and everything else. Me, I got left behind in math because when they got into fractions and long division, I lost it all. And I told you this before. So I hate math with a passion. So if I can't understand something, I just want to walk away from it. I can't deal with it. That's me. Now, everybody's different. I had to make sure this is still recording here. So everybody is different, No two minds are alike. So I mean that it's not even anything to do with my age, although when I get older, it's harder for me to grasp things. But it always was. And it's not easy when you got piss poor eyesight. Not that I'm complaining, I'm just telling fact, So, I'm doing the best I can. So, like my videos. Like I mentioned on the last video there with the cameras I use, they do perfect for me. I don't need any special effects. I don't even know how to do them. I have, like I say, Sony Movie Studio 13. You can do special effects in that. I don't know how to do them. Don't try to show me, because unless you're right there physically and drilling it into my thick head, I'm not going to grasp it. So I don't do them. I do what I can do. So, so therefore my videos don't show anything that would hold your interest most of the time. And the only time it might is if I, have an event or something I go to, which in this time of the year, it's so damn cold I can't work in the shop. I can't do nothing. I'm hibernating in the house, watching YouTube videos or watching DVDs or whatever. So, that's about the size of it there. So there's changes on the forums, and when you get used to using it, that's it. Now, it's the same way with when I buy things. I'm used to using eBay because it's easy to navigate. When you click on something, you buy it now and make offer or whatever, or if you want to bid on it, which I don't do because I don't win the bids anyways because I'm always outbidded. So I do to buy it now. That's fine. Now, when I need capacitors, I buy from a place like Tony's Capacitor Corner, which used to be Sal's. That if I need stuff like that, I do it. DigiKey, way too complicated. You have to have a PhD to figure out the website. All those places are extremely complicated to use, So I know a lot of guys buy from DigiKey, and places like that I never have because they're too damn hard to navigate the site. That's the same way with navigation in Windows 10 in the filing system. it's beyond me. I cannot cope with that. So, you know, so I'm from the old school, and I emphasize that a lot. I'm from the old school. If I could go back in time, I'd rather go back to the 1950s where life was much more simpler. You know, the world was better, and I'm not going to get into that. That's why I stopped a lot of my videos about that. I have strong feelings about things. I'm watching videos on what's going on and stuff like that. So, the way things are now, lived one day at a time, you could be dead tomorrow. So, that's enough on that part of it. So, I'm trying, and I love old vintage electronics, as you well know. I can't deal with, I'm not interested in the modern stuff. Not even working with transistors. I just don't like it. Too small, um, too hard to work on, and too complex and stuff like that. I love my vacuum tubes and stuff like that. That's easier to work on. Um, Unless you grew up with that stuff, the warm glow of a vacuum tube, and the smell of vintage electronics. It has a smell, and that nobody will understand unless they worked with it and grew up with it. Now, at my age, my life and fond memories were in the 50s, in the 1950s, and in the 60s. I would say the early 60s. Um, that's about it. But the 50s was the time that I really wish I could go back to. And as I said so many times before in other videos, my electronics started in the late 50s. 58, 59, right in that area is when I really started messing around with televisions. And I did lots of TVs back then when my dad was alive in the late 50s. And I've discussed this before on other videos, and I believe I still have them up there. I just removed all the coffee flaps and the unnecessary flaps and the opinions on this world and what's going on in this country and stuff. I removed all that stuff because I had a lot of criticism on it. And so I figure it's best not to. There's enough bad things going on in the world without being reminded about it. So I kind of changed the way I do my videos, and that's pretty much it. And that's why the comments are disabled also. I do enjoy making videos, but unless you're gonna, unless you don't mind a simple video format like myself, what I do, and if you want a higher tech video, then go to somebody that can do special effects and more interesting videos. So primarily that's about it. I don't have very much else to talk about today. I did want to just throw this video out to you. I'm not having coffee today. I'm actually sitting in my car in my driveway using the Bavlov W1 as an audio recorder. It's set up for audio only, and just giving you some video in the background that I have saved from previous videos. So that's probably it. So I don't do much to entertain myself. The highlight of my day, as I mentioned before in previous videos, is going out and having a nice breakfast, or even going out to get a coffee, and enjoying that. I look forward to that. There's nothing better than on a cold morning to get a nice hot cup of coffee in a warm restaurant. And so that's what I like to do, And, a lot of people do different things. Some people, as I mentioned before, so many times before, want to kill themselves with cigarettes and booze and stuff like that and other things. And if they want to do it, well, then keep doing it, and you'll be dead before you know it. So, we all have to go at one time or another. So, try to enjoy life and do things, what you like to do, and, that's it. And what I like to do, I enjoy making videos. And if I didn't, I would have closed my channel down a long time ago. I find myself watching videos and not so much making them. Now, when the warmer weather gets here, it's very cold now. It's in the 20s. And it's supposed to warm up, but I don't believe that. So I'm in the house all the time, except for going out, And that's pretty much it. So, yeah, technology is leaving me behind, and I'm not going to even worry about catching up. I try to stay with it as best I can. I even, at Christmas time, I asked my wife for a TalkPod, TalkPod. It's an HT that does ham, which I don't use because I'm not going to pay $35 for a technician renewal on my license because of the fact that I don't use it anyways. But I bought it for one thing, and that's aircraft. And it does receive aircraft, but it's too high-tech for me. I can't figure out how to program it, even though I got the book on it, and I got a PDF file on it, and how to scan it. So, to this day, I had it since Christmas. I don't know how to get it to scan. And the only way I could do that is to actually have somebody physically with me to show me how to do it. I don't know how to program the channels in. All I know how to do is punch one in at a time, and then just hit the VFO, hit the VFO section and program it. Or I don't even know how to use the channel mode. It's like a like a Bofang, which I don't have anymore. I gave mine away to a friend of mine. Because I'm not into the ham. I don't go to the ham auctions anymore because I don't think you have to be licensed to go, but I'm not interested. I don't need any more stuff. I don't have any room in the shop. I find myself giving things away just to get rid of it, because I don't use them. But that's just the way it is. So, it's technology like that. You watch a YouTube video on how to use it. Oh, I can get aircraft on. That's great. Now I'm about 7 or 8 miles or maybe 10 miles away from an airport as the crow flies. Small one. And I do hear him in there, but I'm on 125.6 megacycles. So, yes, I use the old term. And I use feet and inches. I do not use metric. I guess that's another thing. I don't want to get into a metric rant, so I'm not going to. I got rid of that video a long time ago. But anyways, so they make it look so simple when they tell you the program, and they go along and they rattle on like you got a photographic memory. I have to watch things over and over and over and over, and I still don't understand it because the teaching methods that are done are not clear enough. So, that's just the way it is for me. I have to see it big, close up, and done slowly so I can follow along. As you know, on those things, when you program them, you only got 5 seconds to punch it in. I cannot respond that quick. So if you don't punch it in, I don't even think it's 5 seconds on this. And then you got to figure out, you got to hunt for the next button to push to get it. And there's no scan feature on it. I know it can scan. I don't know how to do it. So it comes down to an old-fashioned scanner. I still got my AOR XL 1000 XLT, I guess, something like that, scanner that I bought years and years ago in the 90s. It's like a $400 scanner. When I had the money, I bought that. And it does everything. It still has the programs in it. It takes 4 AA's. There was no batteries in it, but they still had the memories in it from all these years. I had a big, thick, 1-inch thick book on how to program that thing. Back then I had excellent eyesight, and it was easier to use. And I made a video on it, and it works good. But I wanted something to receive the aircraft, and I don't know, just something to do. When you get old, you like to have little things like this, but they got to be easy to use, and they're not, you know. The technology today is so complicated, it's made for the young generation. Us old farts are just going to be left behind, that's all there is. Like I said before, I got a smartphone. Samsung Galaxy, I think it is, A14. It's a $225 phone, not a $1,000 phone. That's insane. There's no need for that iPhone stuff there. I can't understand why people pay those prices. They're overpriced, but that's my opinion on it. They're overpriced. They don't do that much better. Yes, they're better, but not that much to worth that money. And you got to be very well off to own one unless you have an older one, you know, that you got at a discount. But I don't know, I see so many people use them. Why? I don't know. You know, a lot of them I think go into debt and paying them, or have a contract. Most likely they have a contract and they're paying on and on and on and on for it. And, you know, I don't believe in getting things on time. I used to do that years ago. Years ago, before I got married, way before, back in the 60s and early 70s, I owed. I used to go to household finance and take loans out at 23% interest to buy a piece of stereo equipment or something, or to go on vacation because I was single. I was working for the vending company at that time. You know, and I paid them off, but it took forever, and I kept taking loans out and paid the old one off, and I was in, you know, no more. Now, if we can't afford it, we don't get it, you know, and that's as simple as that. We've had to take a loan out a number of years ago to convert to propane heating from kerosene, a K1 kerosene, in our furnace, and that was $2,200 or $2,500. We had to take a loan out. That just got paid off about a year ago. So, you know, that was the exception. You know, and when we bought this mobile home, I had stock that I sold and paid cash for the mobile home. I don't want to owe anything. I want paid, you know, and people buy these cars. The bank owns your car. You do not own it until it's paid for. The bank owns it. Oh, they're going to see my new car. The bank owns it, my friend. The bank owns it. And you'll be paying to the day you die unless you pay it off, you know. And there's a lot of people, you know, that pay them off because, you know, or they'll buy a car that's a couple years old and pay it off. But these people that buy new cars and have got car payments of who knows what, $500, $1,000 a month, I don't know. Well, not us. We're basically living, you know, paycheck to paycheck, or Social Security to Social Security, you know, and that's it, you know, and that's all I got to say about that. And we're doing okay, you know. Wife's health isn't too good. A lot of doctors, but I'm not going to get into that. I'm very worried. Her mobility is getting really, really bad. And but I'm not going to get into that because my depression sometimes shows in my videos. And that's one of the reasons why I gave up comedy and gave my Uncle Dorkle to Dan of Cool Blue Lights, which, Dan, if you're watching this or listening to this, I'd like you to do some Uncle Dorkle skits. I know, you know, you're probably in the same situation where the way things are going in the world, you know, I watch a lot of news, mostly on the internet. Fox is the most accurate and honest news. CNN is Communist News Network. I don't watch that, but you watch what's going on in the world, and you get very down on what's going on in the prices and in the stores and everything, and and the war is going on. I mean, you can't be in a mood to do comedy. So I'm hoping, Dan, that you'll take over at least some occasionally, and that's it. I just hope that you can. I know when the weather gets warmer, it's so cold, and all you're doing is fighting snow and ice, and we got snow on the ground. It's just so damn cold. It's only in the 20s in the daytime, and nothing's melting, and I don't feel like doing anything. It's just too damn cold. And then in the summertime, it's too damn hot. All right, hey, I just figured I'd throw this video out here to you. I want to thank you for bearing with me, and I appreciate my viewers that do like my videos, and maybe things will improve. I don't know. I doubt it, but we can hope anyways. So you take care, everybody, and I'm going to stay with old technology and stuff, older technology, such as the Windows and video editing and stuff that I can understand and know how to use. And so that's pretty much it. I'll leave you with this. You cannot teach an old dog new tricks. Thanks for watching. Take care.